I'll call the meeting order at 7 o'clock, and I'll ask Bruce to take the roll, please.
All right. Ned Stachin,
Here.
Richard Berlandi,
Here.
David Fox,
Here.
Robert Eisner,
Here.
Neil Kelsey,
Present.
Mark Simpson,
Here.
Andre Simons, Jay Tulin,
I'm here.
and George Santos. All right, Chair.
Okay. Let me know if Andre comes in.
Will do, sir.
So our first item on the agenda is 1500 Farmington Avenue. Is the applicant here?
Do you want to appoint an alternate in the meantime?
Yeah, okay. I'll appoint Jay as the alternate.
Okay, for Andre.
Yeah. Is that a vote or is that just my appointment?
Oh, just you,
Okay.
the supreme
you.
power.
All this power. Okay.
Okay.
All right. If the applicant can summarize, I know we got that cross-section sketch with a little more information. But just refresh and give us any more additional information that you've had or a summary,
Yep.
please.
Vanessa's
Either
out.
the applicant or her contractor.
Yeah, I
Vanessa,
can give you guys
you
a
want?
description, just a narrative of what's been going on. I purchased my house in November of 2022. My installer at the time did a inspection during the buying process and determined that my distribution pipe was cracked. We went ahead with getting a tank only and a replacement of the distribution pipe. And during that time, my installer said that there was no leaching fields to connect to. We continued with soil testing in February of 2023 with Joe Green. The Farmington Valley Health District was also there. We determined that my soils were unsuitable and the best option would be to connect to city sewer. There are no city sewers on Farmington Avenue, so I was lucky enough to ask my neighbor who accepted to do an easement through their yard and connect onto the city sewer in Arwood Road in the Highlands behind my property. I went to a WPCA meeting in March of 2023 and they provided approval. I took some time to get Joe Green to submit a plan to the town that was approved after a revision, and we've just been trying to get someone to do the work from then on. I believe it was approved in maybe February of last year. I might have the time wrong, but we've been looking to get someone to do the work. I was originally going to have Ben Bear from Bear Construction, but he kept pushing due to a big project. So I hired Fen Construction to do the work. And that's where we are right now.
Okay. And you have the full cooperation of your neighbor behind you
Yes.
that you're running the line through?
Yep, I worked with Pat Scully to get the attorney Pat Scully to get the easement documents obtained. They signed off. She's very aware. I keep her updated with every decision and whatnot that we have to go through. So she's very aware of everything.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Is your contractor here?
I'm not sure. I sent him the link.
I don't
Okay.
see him on the list. So
No.
I can give a brief explanation of his cross-section if you'd like.
Sure. Thank you.
So from my understanding, he's going to be digging a trench. It's 42 inches deep to have a frost protection. The pipe is 1 1/4 inch, and it's going to be connected to a grinder pump that's going to pump up. The grinder pump is located in the middle of my property, and then the topography goes up. He's going to be excavating, pushing that material to the side, and backfilling with that same material. And then he's going to have the hay barrels to keep it structured. And then I also see he has, and this is on my property, he has Typar fabric that he's gonna be laying above the pipe, and he also has sand and gravel on my property, so he's gonna be backfilling with that first and then using that original soil that he excavated.
Okay. I think we have an understanding of what you would like to do. Let's go through the board and see if they have any questions. Rich Berlandi,
I don't have any questions. It seems pretty straightforward.
okay. I'm looking through my list here. Dave Fox,
No questions.
Robert Eisner,
No question, just we talked last month about, basic construction practices, doing it during a low flow period, coordinating the work with the town staff, and just using soil and erosion control to restabilize the area. So I don't have any concerns about the project. No comments.
okay. Neil Kelsey,
Yeah, nothing from me at this point.
okay. Mark Simpson,
No questions.
all right. Jay Tulin,
I also don't have any questions. It seems pretty straightforward.
okay. Did the I know the contractor was kind of eager to get going. Did he start any of the additional like away from the crossing swale? you do
No,
any-
not of right now. He took, after we got notified that we needed a wetlands permit, he took his excavator away, but we did have a little bit of a hiccup where our sewage started backing up into our basement. I assume it is due to the house sewer pipe being exposed. But I did have him come Saturday, and I told Farmington Valley Health District, Pat came to my house on Tuesday to check the pitch, but it started backing up into the basement, and then it started backing up into the shower. And so he came out and he cut the original house sewer pipe and replaced it with PCV, and the cause was, I think, a mixture between ice, and we also had a lot of roots growing into the original pipe. So that is the only thing that's happened so far. I have all the material on my property. It's just I understand he had to get on with another job, and so he took his excavator away for the time being.
Okay. That's the only question I have really, except maybe to Bruce. Bruce, are you satisfied with the trench detail and the information that they provided?
Yeah, we're good. We're just gonna deal just as Commissioner Eisner stated, we'll be dealing with the person out in the field during the construction to make sure the erosion control is set and everything is being done adequately.
Okay. And there in your comments and instructions to the applicant, you'll be able to utilize existing wetland soils to backfill in that area. You can instruct your contractor to do that.
Yes, yep, he is
Okay.
aware of that.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, and I've been through the board, so I mean, I know it's a difficult situation you're in, and I hope your contractor can get this solved for you. So I will, let's see, we did, yeah, we did it. Oh, it was non-significant last period. Okay, so I need to entertain a motion to approve the application.
So moved, Mark.
With the conditions, sir, if you don't mind, too?
Yes, conditions?
Yeah.
With conditions, yeah, as stated in the review notes from the town. Okay, Mark, is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's okay with me.
Okay. And I need a
I'll
second, please.
second. Jay, I'll second.
All right, Jay, second. Okay, the application's been motion's been made to accept the application and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes.
Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate it. And I will keep you all posted with my contractor and the work.
But you just have to keep Bruce posted on as to when things are starting and give him a few days' notice when, before the contractor gets there, and work together with the town, and should have no problems.
Okay, thank you so much. Stay
Thank
safe
you.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda, Hillstead Museum, 35 Mountain Road, removal of invasive species work.
Yes, we have David Purbeck from the museum on the line, I think, right, Dave? Are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, just a brief history. I mean, back in the early 1900s, this area was developed as what we call a walking garden. It's adjacent to the current sunken garden. There's some original photos back from the early 1900s when it was active. Probably during the early or the mid, like the World War II era, when there was labor shortages, the sunken garden and the walking garden kind of went in, fell to the wayside just due to labor shortages. So currently, I don't know if Bruce, if you have a current picture, but it's just completely overgrown, poison ivy, vines, any kind of invasive thing that you could think of is in there. And as you're driving down the driveway, entering the museum from Mountain Road, you can see the house up in the background there. Everybody drives by this, and at this point, it's a pretty big eyesore. So we have plans, or we don't have plans yet, but our goal is to eventually restore this to its former glory, and give visitors another thing to do here for walking and reflection and just spending time on the property. We don't have an official plan yet, but our goal right now is to remove as much of the invasives as we can and clean it up, clear it out, and maintain it while we come up with a plan, with a landscape architect, and put some numbers to it, figure out, what this will cost, start raising some money. We do have some current funds now to do some clearing and removal. But there are, there's stone walls that need to be repaired. There's just it's a big project, but we want to clean it up in order to make it look a little bit more presentable and be able to let people get in there to assess it and put some numbers to it and come up with a plan, which we would come back to you at a future time. We don't really have a time frame on that yet, but we would come back with a formal application once we have a plan established.
Okay. Bruce, do you have anything that shows where the wetland
Yes, I
is
do.
in regards to
Yes, I
this
do,
area
Chair.
that they want to do some clearing?
All right, here it is. So Mountain Road is down here. Here's the long access drive to come in. So the sunken garden is up by or here's the house. The sunken garden's up by the house. This is the area right around that bend in this area. Wetlands were flagged. What did I say in my thing? I think it was back in 2005, was it?
Yeah, 3 or 4 when we did the
What did I say
road
here?
work.
Yep, yeah, 05.
Yeah, you said 05.
Yeah, it was done in 05 as part of the plan to redo some parking in here, parking over here. So as part of that, they did this wetland flagging in that whole area. And that is the whole area of the wetland garden at this point. Not the walking garden at this point. So.
I mean, I know we walked in there, and the most, what would it be? Northerly, probably the first 60 or 70% of the walking garden, the north side is usually always really dry. I mean, I know it's still designated wetlands. There is to the southern end of it is where there's the culvert that goes under the road, and then there's the easement that goes down to High Street.
Mhm. I'll give a little aerial. So there's the sunken garden there. This is what is this? Just a
That's the sheep meadow. That's a field.
shield for the sheep, and then
Yeah.
here's the old walking garden in here, and there is a storm pipe, or there is a intermittent water course that comes down through here, runs along the edge, goes under the river or under the brook here, and then meanders down into High Street at this point.
Okay.
So I'm here to still.
And is part of your removal, is it you gonna have anything like above like a mini excavator or?
No, I think it's going to be a mixture of handwork and my contractor has a mini excavator with a small grapple claw on it, which, you know, it's got rubber tracks. You know, currently, I mean, we're thinking now is the time to really do it based on the ground, the soil conditions. It's dry, it's frozen. Obviously, in the spring, it gets much wetter in there. So, and most of it can be grabbed from the high side, and we can sneak around where that main wet area is, and whatever if we can't get it with the excavator, then we can do some handwork as well.
Okay. Um,
And then the plan is then once we remove everything that we can, is to go in there twice a year with a small hand, like brush hog, brush cutter kind of thing, just to keep everything at bay, keep everything off the walls, with edging equipment, just to make it look presentable.
okay. And you're willing to work with the town and make sure that and keep them apprised of the work that you're doing?
Yes, yeah, we did, we did reach out to the town. They did come out and meet with us originally, so we're totally cooperative.
Okay, so this may be permitted as non-regulated use. It's just an upkeep of the property. So I guess I'll see I'll do two things. We'll see, I'll go through the board, and if you have any questions, ask the questions, and then let me know if you think this is fits the description of our non-regulated use in the wetlands. I tend to think it does. But Rich? Or Landy?
Yeah, thanks. In, in flagging the wetlands, did the wetland scientists do a report?
Yes, yep, yes, they
Values?
did. And that is in here. Nope, that's the historical. I didn't, what, I've got it here. If you want to look at it, I do have it in there if you want me to open it up, but it did go through, just discussing that intermittent stream. The majority of the ground cover is Pachysandra, which we can verify because we did walk through there. And it's infilled with large areas of Japanese barberry, multiflora rose, and Japanese honeysuckle. So, and due to the vast, go ahead. What's that?
And what the intent of the application right now is just to remove the invasives in this area, and that's it.
Exactly. That's all they want to do right now, is because I think and Dave would back it up, is that they did get a a donation to do some work, to do some preliminary design on this. So they want to get the invasives cleared out so they can at least see a little bit better what needs to be done, the amount of work, and then from there come up with a plan. And as we said, they'll be back at some point in the future with a plan, with an actual application for the full rebuild of this of the walking path.
Okay, that's the only questions I have. Thank you.
Okay, Dave Fox.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with having this as a non-regulated use, particularly frozen ground conditions. So get it done as quick as you can, I guess. In the long run, to be a walking garden, and I guess it's called a forested wetland at the present. Is it going to be like shade species, or is there going to be some clearing that has to be done to support a garden? Something to think about, as this progresses.
Yeah, there are many trees in there. There are definitely a couple of them that are not in great shape. So, yeah, I understand your point.
Okay. And when you come back with a plan, maybe 20 years is quite a long time. Probably do another wetland delineation, maybe, and have the scientist give us the functions and values of what the wetland is. But that's for the future.
Yeah.
What you're proposing now is fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Robert Eisner. We come back to Robert.
Yeah, sometimes his screen free. Let me see.
Okay.
Is he muted? Yeah, he's muted. He's muted.
All right, Neil Kelsey.
Oh, sorry, my fault.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Go ahead, Rob.
Conceptually, I agree it's an as-of-right activity, but Bruce, is there a limitation on the acreage that falls under the exemption?
Not for this section. Let me grab my book. Hold on.
Okay. And
That's
while you're
that's for the
checking,
incidental use. That's for like incidental use such as a pool or anything like that, here, 4B. For permitted use as of right. Yeah, permitted use as of right talks about grazing, farming for farms, a residential permit, and uses incidental. I think what you're talking about is uses incidental to the enjoyment and maintenance of a residential property, such property defined as equal to or smaller than 80,000 square feet, which is a residential properties, shall include maintenance of existing structures, landscaping, but shall not include removal or deposition of significant amounts of material from wetlands. That's for the residential section. What we're doing here is a residential home, B or B2. Oh, right, down here, we're in the outdoor, it's an outdoor recreation, including play, sporting areas, golf courses, field trails, and then nature study, hiking, horseback riding, putting it under that section there. It could have either been under there or B1, which is conservation of the wetland area,
Okay. Thanks,
So-
Bruce. And it meets that criteria, so I'm happy with that. And just to make sure, even though an mini excavator is being used, there's no ground disturbance proposed, just removal of the vegetation, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thanks for the clarification. I agree. This is an as-of-right activity.
The contractor, I think, is online. If anybody has any specific questions for the contractor, I think he is still there. He was there. Yeah.
Yep,
That
I'm
where-
still here.
Oh, good. He's still there. So if anyone has any specific questions. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Neil Kelsey.
Yeah, I agree. I'm fine with it being permitted, non-regulated use. I do have one question though. You mentioned that there are some trees in there that may have to come down. What are your plans on those at this point? And would that be part of a larger application, or or what are your plans on dealing with those trees?
Yeah, I mean, currently there are a couple that are already down on the ground, which we're going to remove. Once we pull all the vines off the trees and stuff, we'll go through and reassess, but it's not part of it right now.
Okay, so you when you get to that point, you would again contact town staff and they can help work through that with you. Is that?
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. All right. Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Simpson?
Yeah, I think this is not something that is part of the non-regulated use for the wetlands. I don't see it being if they do the work at this present time when everything's frozen versus the springtime, then I think this is a doable project. So I have no concerns.
Thank you. Jay Tulin, please.
Yeah, my question actually got answered, and it was really just a basic thing. I just wanted to make sure I understood that we're considering part of it tonight, and that sometime in the future, there'll be a more formal plan that they'll come before us again. And that question got answered. That's all thank you.
Okay. Yeah, just like clarification on your future plans. That might be like as you said, repairs to the stone wall, rebuilding the walkway, maybe running some conduit for lighting along the walkway or anything like that. Is it
There wouldn't be any lighting.
no lighting?
It
Okay.
would be repairing the stone wall that runs along the drive, which is a huge project in itself right there.
Yeah.
I don't know how many feet it is, but it is pretty much all collapsed from the sunken garden all the way down. There also was a pergola. One of the photos you have, Bruce, shows in the far distance, you can see that one there. You can see at the end of that bluestone path, yeah, there's a pergola. There's benches, there's stone walls, there's walking paths, you can see pastas, there's, native plant materials. So it would be a big project. But yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have any questions. The majority of the board has said that they think agrees that this is a non-regulated use to maintain the property. So Chair will entertain a motion to that this is a permitted non-regulated use to maintain the property
With the conditions included.
with the condition that they work with the town staff and keep them apprised of their progress.
And then the erosion control as needed, if any. So, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, a motion, please.
So moved by Eisner.
Okay, and a second, please.
Dave will second.
All right, motion been made and seconded that this is a permitted non-regulated use to maintain the property. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Just give us a call when you're getting ready. Okay?
Yep. Well, I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, next item, Town of Farmington, Meadow Road, regulated activity in the upland review area for sidewalk project. Is that gonna be you, Bruce, or is it the
Nope.
engineer?
Nope.
Good evening, I should say, commission members and chair. My name is Dylan Riley. I am one of the civil engineers for the town. I'll be presenting the Meadow Road project tonight with the highlighted focus on the 3 areas where we cross the wetlands. Yep, that's it. The Meadow Road Sidewalk Project is a sidewalk project building a new sidewalk stretch from New Britain Avenue to Wisteria Lane. We will be crossing Judson Lane with new ramps. And there is one culvert crossing that requires our attention. As part of this project, we plan to upsize the outlet end of the pipe only from a 36-inch RCP pipe to a 48-inch RCP pipe. Could you go to the plans? Thank you. Throughout the no, just
Okay,
the
okay.
first one's fine. We'll just
Okay.
go from start to finish. Throughout the project, we cross the wetlands at 3 points. This is our first crossing where we start at Wisteria Lane. We enter the Upland Review area at what station is that? Station 8.
Yep.
Is where we enter the Upland Review area. Station 925 is roughly where the wetlands starts. In that area, we have to pull back the sidewalk from the road a little bit due to elevation change just off the road. So we'll be utilizing silt fence and straw wattles to contain any disturbance and erosion within the project limits and off of the greater wetland. There are a couple utility poles in our way, forcing us to move further away from the road in this area. That accompanied with the grade change, as drastic as it is, so close to the road. And then we move out of the wetland review area at station, or we move out of the wetland at station 12 and out of the upland review area around station 14. Where we're able to come back to the road. We then continue, could you go over to the pipe? Yeah, we then continue along the road for the remainder of this stretch till we reach our next wetland at the around Judson Lane. At this particular point, around station 21, we enter the upland review area. Around station 2250, we are in the wetlands area. At this area, we are pushing the sidewalk as close as we can to those utility poles to keep it away from the edge of the embankment for the road. Fill will be used as required during any field work. Silt fence and straw wattles will be utilized to contain all loose material onto the project site and within our green belt. At this location, this is where our culvert crossing is. This culvert accepts a lot of water from Summersby, Portage Crossing, and elsewhere along Meadow Road.
Oh, no, I put the wrong application, sorry.
That's
The
right.
photos for here we go, right here. Storm drains outlet, here we go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, these are primarily downstream photos. This is probably 50 yards from the outlet. You can see it's a small, really intermittent water course. It doesn't really flow all of the time. In fact, just recently, the inlet was completely frozen, so the water's not flowing through there very fast at all for it to freeze. And it froze pretty solidly. I mean, I myself was walking on it at the inlet. And the outlet that we plan on doing the work to is being done to reduce flooding on the northern end of Meadow Road. The property there has a shed that sometimes can get inundated with water during high volume storm events. It's the shed right there at the end of the driveway, Bruce.
Right, yeah, right here.
Yeah,
Up in here, yeah.
yeah, up in there.
Oh, the
Yeah,
garage.
yeah.
Yep, the garage.
So they're about 2 feet above the current water elevation, roughly. So it's not that much of a grade difference. So you can see how that can be an issue. The reason we're only upgrading the outlet pipe is because from Portage Crossing, there's a 36-inch that most southern storm drainage line with the green dots is a 36-inch RCP pipe coming from the Portage Crossing development. And that intercepts the 36-inch RCP crossing at that green manhole. The green dot indicates a manhole structure. So we'll be changing out that manhole structure with a larger structure to accommodate the 48-inch pipe, and upgrading the outlet to provide more relief on the outlet side with the 36-inch pipe coming from Portage Crossing, to relieve any backup from before that point. So the regulated work here is really just removing the existing pipe, flared end and manhole structure and placing new structures in. The new pipe will fall in the same footpath or same footprint as the existing, will just be a slightly larger size. We will not be doing any work in the plunge pool. The plunge pool existing is heavily silted in talks with CTD Fisheries. That's how they prefer it. They actually prefer us not to put riprap in any body of water really anymore for fish passage. So that work will not be done as part of this project. We will just be upgrading the outlet structure.
Okay. Is that flared end concrete or plastic?
All components will be concrete.
Okay.
Yep.
And oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, it's fine.
And then just wrap up and show them what you're doing
Yeah.
with the rest of it. That's all.
We have one more crossing a little bit further on.
Crossing of what?
This is just the upland review area
Yeah.
after the pipe, but we have one more wetland crossing before we make it to the end of the project. Yeah, just along this stretch in front of Summersby Way. Again, we'll use standard construction practices to keep erosion within the project limits and out of any unnecessary disturbance.
Next one takes you down. White circle. Here we go. Yep.
And that's the upland
Carriage Drive. Yep. Carriage
in front
Drive.
of Carriage Drive.
And White circle.
White circle. Thank you, Bruce.
No problem. And then this takes you to the end. Go back to here. Crossing by Apple Tree, right?
Yep.
Apple Tree. And then tying right back into where?
The trail.
Like right there. So.
Yep. So that's our project proposal. At this point, I'll leave it to the commission for any questions and comments.
When do we think this work is going to be scheduled?
It's our intention to go out to bid shortly, hopefully scheduling the work for sometime after end of school.
Okay. All right. I don't think that's all I have. We'll start with Rich Berlandi. Do you have any questions?
No, it looks pretty straightforward. No questions. Thank you.
All right. Dave Fox.
Just kind of one picky question. I see on the application that it's 680 square feet of wetland impacts, but I think that's just counting the storm drainage area there. And you do have some crossings that probably aren't counted into that. And being on the side of the road, maybe they're really not wetlands anyway, but I don't know how that's handled from accounting purposes.
It's not an on-ground field here. It's just the aerial wetland. So
Yeah. So our wetlands delineation is really just through the aerial views from the GIS website that we have, and the GIS mapping. They're not necessarily flagged, but the rough ideas that when you're that close to the road and
Yeah, I understand. And I was looking at that GIS shows pretty much all of Hind Farm as wetlands, so it's obviously
Yeah.
not correct.
yeah,
So again, no big deal. I didn't know if it was an accounting thing or probably doesn't matter.
yeah, we're really staying within the green belt along Meadow Road. We're not apart from that one area where we separate from the road a little bit more than you normally would, but that's only because of how much higher the elevation along the south side of the road is compared to the road itself.
Okay.
It's much more cost effective to go up with the grade than it is to remove the grade.
Okay. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Eisner.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a highly beneficial project for public safety purposes. I bike and walk on this road all the time. It has an east-west run, and when there are people on the road in the morning and at night, the sun is blinding for the driver. So I think it'll be a major public safety improvement to get people off the road. And so there's a small amount of wetland impact that may occur, but it's far outweighed by the public safety. I do have one question. Just west of the intersection with New Britain Avenue, it shows there's an existing driveway to be maintained. There is no driveway
Go back to your
on Meadow Road.
Just a second. Sorry.
Yeah, when you have the profile sheets, you show that there's an existing driveway to be maintained.
Yeah.
So, a
Last
second, I'll
page.
get in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there used to be, when they first built that storage building. But I think they've since, probably for security, so you don't have a one way out, one way in. Yeah,
Yeah, that's all grass. I mean, I've lived there for
yeah,
over
I
20
don't think
years.
it's there
I've
anymore.
never seen any vehicles. There's no gravel. There's
No,
no
it's
sign
not.
of any
It's
driveway.
definitely gone, but
Yeah, if there's no sign of any remains of a driveway and there's no curb cut, then there's no reason to,
Nope.
there's no
There's
curb
nothing
cut.
there. Good pickup, sir.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be filling that in with concrete and for the sidewalk.
Okay, end of my comments.
hey, Neil Kelsey.
Yeah, nothing from me.
All right, Mark Simpson.
Yeah, I just was trying to read the application and I was a little concerned about the areas of wetlands being disturbed, but I think in this discussion, it kind of made me more reassured that if it's going by what's flagged by the town, by the GIS, yeah, I know those things it's not accurate unless somebody actually goes in there and actually, does an evaluation, whether it's wetlands or not. So I'm pretty much okay with this project for what the benefits are outweigh any disturbance.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
all. Thank you.
Jay Tulin.
I don't have any questions. I agree with all the beneficial, the benefit outweighs anything else, and I think it's a good project. Thanks.
Okay. So Bruce, again, you feel that this is a regulated activity?
Oh, definitely, yes.
And you have to review.
Definitely.
Okay,
So just
I
accept
agree
the
with that.
application. So just accepting the application, determining if you guys want to do a site walk, and then just determine the significance if you want to go that far as well, and then we'll just push this off to the next meeting.
Oh, did they submit an application?
Yes, they did. Yep,
Okay.
yes, he did.
Oh, that's right. It was in the handout.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is different. This is definitely a fully regulated work.
Yeah.
So.
Just for point of information now, what we had passed last year about allowing the town to do minor work under your approval or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
But this is larger than that, right? So this is why we're
Yeah, I think so, because it's not just the outlet, it's as well as the amount of disturbance in the upland review area, so.
Yeah, okay,
I didn't think the one that we had passed was just for minor maintenance of outlets and things like that, so,
yeah,
all right.
okay. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to accept the application.
So moved by Dave.
Second, Mark.
Second by,
Uh,
go ahead.
Okay. I think Mark got in first there. Motion been made and seconded to accept the application.
Mhm.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Application is accepted. Do people feel a need to do a site walk?
I
I'm
don't.
I don't.
None, me neither.
it'd be a little snowy by the time we get out there.
Okay, good point.
Yeah. Okay. So
Mhm.
there is not a need for a site walk. Do we need a motion for that?
Nope.
Oh, okay. And since we're not going to take a site walk, we can make an evaluation that this is a regulated activity within the upland review area. People, how are people's feelings about that?
Well, it's really if it's gonna be a significant activity or not, is what we're looking for. So you wanted to determine if this is gonna be a significant activity, which requires a public hearing. Well,
I thought this, if it's a regulated activity, oh, never mind. I'm misreading something here. Yeah. Okay. So we're not gonna have a site walk. All right, so we'll determine if this is a significant event. What are people, I do not think it is. Well, no, it is not. But I'll pull the board. Rich Berlandi,
I don't think this is a significant activity and a public hearing. It's not required.
Okay. Dave Fox,
Not significant.
Robert Eisner,
Yeah, recognize that there is some small amount of wetland being directly impacted. The wetlands are already directly adjacent to the roadway. So I think it is regulated, but not a significant impact.
Neil Kelsey,
I agree. Not significant impact.
okay, Mark Simpson,
Not significant.
all right, Jay Tulin,
Same here, not significant.
okay. So let's vote on it. We'll have entertain a motion that this is not a significant activity. Can I get a motion, please?
Jay, so moved.
All right,
Second.
Jay and Dave. Okay, motion's been made and seconded that this is not a significant activity. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Oh, abstain? No abstains, okay. Motion passes. All right, so we'll vote on this at the next meeting, and we'll ask the town staff to update any changes that they make, and I think it's pretty straightforward. So we can vote on it next week. Next meeting, rather.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And again, to our engineer that coordinate erosion control and restoration with the town staff.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sir. Get home to those kids.
All right,
Stay out.
Reading those process.
Stay out if you.
Last item on the agenda, inspired by Opportunity LLC, 317 and 331 South Road.
Good evening. For the record, my name's Megan Hope. I'm an attorney with Altrin Pearson and Hope in Glastonbury. I'm here tonight representing on behalf of the applicant Inspired by Opportunity LLC. They operate the Wendy's that's located at 330 South Road. Here with me tonight, I have Gareth Wilson from BL Companies, also our soil scientist, Sagan Simcoe, and Anna Hell Hank, the representative from Wendy's. Bruce, do you see Sagan?
Yes, that I did see someone on the
Okay, I saw
Right.
Gareth. I just can't see him, so I want to
No.
make sure.
Sagan. I think, yep, he's in the attendee. I will actually promote him now.
Okay, thank you.
He was at
Um, so just to give the board a little overview of our proposal, you all saw this wetlands application back in 2022. And we're coming tonight to talk about a proposed sewer extension within the adjacent lot to the westerly side of the site. Bruce, could you go to slide 10, please?
Can I count the numbers here? Help
Oh,
me out.
sorry. Yeah, it's the survey. So it's sort of at the
Okay.
end. Or here we
That's
go.
what I have?
Perfect. Yep, thank you. So this is just the survey of the site as it appears today. We obviously have that existing Wendy's building pushed further back towards I-84, which is to the north side of the site. The parking lot is located to the front and sides. Half of the lot is located in Farmington, and the easterly half is located in West Hartford. We did receive a permit from you back in 2022 for a drainage pipe located in that northwest corner where Bruce is circling right now. That water sheet flows out to the west, which is a current lot owned by the West Farms Mall owners, and it's in a conservation easement. So it's been wooded for quite some time, and that's where our stormwater from this site will be directed. We are proposing to rebuild this whole site. That Wendy's is very original and outdated. If you can go to the next slide, please, Bruce. Our proposal was approved by all the boards in Farmington, and then we went to West Hartford and got all the approvals we needed over there. But we're obviously pulling the building closer to the street. We don't need as many parking because there's less indoor seats now. We are proposing a drive-through, but this has all been approved and permitted. When we did get the plans approved, the original proposal included getting rid of the existing septic tank, which is currently on site, and connecting the site to the sewer. We did get permission from Farmington to connect to their sewer, which is down to the westerly on Woodruff Road. It's about 600 feet or so linear feet of pipe in order to connect, but the client thought it was important to abandon the septic tank and move towards a sewered option for this site. Our original proposal had that sewer pipe located in South Road, so all within the pavement. And what our application tonight deals with is a change to that previous plan. And what we're proposing to do is to put the sewer pipe within the adjacent lot. And if you go to the next slide, Bruce, that should show it. Yeah, this one. Yes, thank you. So this is just, we were just looking at the Wendy's site, and this is to the west. So we've slid down further towards Woodruff Road. You can see the parking lot over on the right side of the screen. That'll be our new parking lot, and that outfall pipe that you permitted back in 2022, which just clipped the limits of the 150-foot upland review area. So that red line that you're seeing on the plan is where we're proposing to locate the sewer pipe. The easement is 30 feet in width, and I'll have Gareth in a minute go through some of the more technical parts of it, but we would be proposing disturbance, obviously, within that upland review area. There is some vegetation, and that would need to be removed in order to put the pipe in. We did have the wetlands delineated. Sagan did that in April, and those have been field located and placed on the plan. It's about 60 feet from that closest point of the wetlands to the closest limit of disturbance. So in all, it's about 12,700 square feet of disturbance, which is proposed in the upland review area. There is no direct wetland impact or direct disturbance to the wetland soil. In a minute, we'll have Sagan go through his findings. He did do a function and values analysis. He also did review the site to see if there was a vernal pool, and he determined that there is no vernal pool located at this location, but he's submitted all those reports to the commission. So I think at this point, I'll turn it over to the team to go through some of the other points of the proposal, including our proposed landscaping and also invasive species control. All right, Gareth, you want to take it away?
Sure, thank you so much. Bruce, would you mind going back to the second slide?
Second here. Here we go.
Perfect. So this is the area of proposed works. We're hugging the road for 30 feet easement along with the length approximately, we're just shy of 600 feet. It's 600 feet chamber to chamber from our side to the point of connection on Woodruff Road. As you can see to the north, and you're probably all familiar with, Interstate 84 drains down the south side, just off site of this parcel of land there, correct? And travels along heading west. The ground also here drops towards the center there, where you see the wetlands highlighted in blue. And like Megan pointed out, we're about 60 feet from that proposed area of works. But just to give a context of, most of the water flows from 84, and of course some from the site as well. Bruce, would you mind going back to the previous plan we're at, showing the sewer in red and green and yellow lines? I'll let Sagan talk through the photographs and his findings. So it's really 600 feet sewer connection, 3 chambers connecting on Woodruff Road. Previously, we were to connect actually just south of that connection point to a stub on the private piece of land, 9520, I believe it was, just south of further left and south of where your cursor is. So all the works were previously going to be proposed in the road. From a traffic management perspective, it's quite challenging. Several junctions, a long stretch of road, and also beside West Farms Mall, so it wouldn't be ideal. This alternative moves all the works off the road, except for a few days to connect to Woodruff, and probably halves the construction time from about 6 weeks to just under 3. So there's benefits of doing that. We did survey the trees all within this 30-foot easement. I think we calculated 63. There's a lot of invasive species, especially along the front there. Oh, thank you. So this is actually a proposed planting plan. So we are removing all the trees within the easement and replacing them with 50 native species, a mix of 5 different types: red maple, sugar maple, white oak, red oak, and American linden, all groups of 5, 10 of each type. We're proposing to put them in as saplings 1.5 to 2 inches. A lot of the existing trees are of similar caliber, but also you can see from the aerial, it's quite densely covered already. So we were limited in actually the space we would actually place the mitigation planting. And it was deemed better to put more smaller caliber trees and place them by hand, rather than sticking to the typical 3.5 caliber trees, which would require more mechanical means to go into the more of the upland review area than needed. So that was a choice we thought might be the best option. I'm planting where we have existing gaps without intruding too further into the upland review and closer to the wetlands. If we can go back 1 slide, Bruce, would you mind? Oh, maybe, sorry, 2 slides, miscounted. So it's just really a linear trench connecting our site to the sanitary on Woodruff. There's one little obstacle there. If you see the central manhole, to the right of that, there's a overhead and a span pole in that location, about 6 feet away from our proposed trench. So we have made a note there for that to be temporarily supported. We weren't able to find an exact detail for that, but looking at DOT standard details, we expect it to be around 6 feet, if not deeper, in that area, which would be deeper than the sewer is actually in that area. Our sewers range from 8 to 6 feet in excavation throughout that area. Either side highlighted in green, the fence type is straw wattling, which we proposed for sediment erosion control. One of the staff comments asked us to consider silt fence. We're more than happy to add that to the plans, but we haven't updated the plans since submission, so we can certainly have that as a conditions of approval. Really, it's fairly straightforward in the amount of works undertaking. 600 feet linear trench, 60 feet from the wetlands, sediment erosion control, best management practices, of course, and a shorter construction duration and less impact on the surrounding neighborhood and traffic. I'm happy to answer any engineering questions now, or I can pass to Sagan to talk about through some of the site photographs, the wetlands, what his findings were.
Let me just let you continue, but I just want a clarification. So in
Yes.
2022, the application was to utilize or replace the septic tank and use an on-site disposal, and now you're going to hook up to the sewers line.
Sorry, existing has a septic system. In 2022 approval, we had the sanitary connecting from the site, connecting across to the left-hand side, similar route, but entirely in the road.
Okay.
So what we're looking to do is get approval to move it from the road into the neighboring lot, which is in the upland review area.
Okay, thank you. Continue, please.
I'll pass to Sagan, if you can walk through the photographs and your findings, please.
Sure. My name is Sagan Sumko. I'm the certified professional soil scientist and the professional wetland scientist that worked on the site. If you want to just go ahead and go to the photos, we'll go through. Yeah, so this is a photo from February 12th, 2024. I went out on several occasions because I wanted to, and this is part of the part of the wetland that's closest to our limit of disturbance. So I went out because I wanted to evaluate the wetland primarily for whether or not it's a vernal pool, whether it's functioning as a vernal pool, because of course that would entail more setback protections and so forth. So this is what it looks like in February. If you want to go to the next photo, looks a little bit more impressive as far as the standing water. But this is mid-April, so I made sure to go out kind of in the middle of the vernal pool survey season. I specifically was looking for any signs of obligate species, and I did not find any. This wetland is immediately adjacent to a little drainage area that's along the north of the project site. So yes, up there. So it gets flooded frequently. It gets a lot of sediment inputs when there's storm events. So the area, in my opinion, simply does not function as a vernal pool. So yeah, if you have any questions specifically about the wetland, again, this is the area that's closest to our limit of disturbance. So.
Okay.
If I can just jump in and walk through the remainder of the photographs, just showing the area of the road. I think the next slide, yes. So this is really at the start, the eastern side, just beside the Wendy's site. So we're looking to clear the 30 feet along this road, just slightly back from the curb line, all the way along to Woodruff. There's a mix of invasive species around here. They're mostly all along the frontage, which we're proposing to remove as part of what we're doing. There's several dead trees as well, which Sagan picked up through his various visits. Some closer to the road. There's just an example of one. And you can see the caliber of the trees all vary in size greatly. If we go to the next photo, again, just some more invasives looking back up towards the site. Wendy's just at the top of the hill there. And then on to the next photo. Again, there's the spam pole I mentioned earlier. Again, mix the trees. And this is also the area that's also probably closest to the wetlands, just center of the screen. And we're going to the next one. And again, this is corner of Woodruff. So the point of connection is actually towards that stop bar. Exactly, thank you. And the 30-foot easement is cutting along the front of that parcel of land there. And you can still see the highway in the background there. But happy to field any questions. That's all I have, unless Megan has a few more comments.
No, I think that wraps up our presentation. We're happy to answer any questions, and did want to discuss with the commission if you were looking for a site walk as well.
All right, thank you. Very thorough presentation. We'll poll the commission, see if they have any questions. Rich Berlandi?
Question is how is this area going to be left when you're done with the sanitary sewer? Is it going to be mowed, and who's going to mow it? What have you gotten I assume you've gotten an easement from the West Farms property owner to do this work. Just that kind of questions. From my point of view, coming out of Woodruff Road, the site distance to the east is very limited because of all the overgrown there, and this will certainly help that. Thank you.
So regarding the first question, we have an agreement right now with West Farms to enter into an easement. So they did sign this wetlands application. We haven't signed the easement yet, because obviously if we don't get a wetlands permit, there's no need for the easement. But we would be responsible for keeping the easement area clear. We did have some discussions with Bruce a few weeks ago. This sewer pipe will essentially just serve Wendy's. There's no other houses in the area that would need to connect to it. So when we had talked about it with Bruce, I think the intent is we're gonna be responsible for all the maintenance. We're gonna be responsible for keeping the strip mowed. Gareth, what is the proposed seed mix that's going over the easement? We obviously can't plant trees on top of the sewer easement, but is that going to be like something that's mowed a couple times a year, or is it like a meadow mix? I wasn't sure what we had been proposing there, but it'll be no trees in that area, correct?
Correct, no trees. All the trees are outside of the easement area, so there's no intrusion of roots for any future maintenance issues. It will be a grass area. Seed mix. Yeah, it's a lawn seed mix. So mix Kentucky bluegrass 60%, fine creeping, fine leaf 25, and ryegrass 15. So a hybrid mix of grass, which can be mowed, tanned as needed.
Yeah, you're probably talking about 35 to 40 feet off of the back of the curb. So I would assume that, let's say, half of that would at least be mowed by the town, maybe during the roadside mowing program as they're going through. Because just as Commissioner Berlandi said, they would be maintaining this sight line over here at the intersection of Woodruff, so they'd want to keep this mowed through here. So I don't envision it really being a large maintenance project. I mean, just keeping all the, any kind of trees that maybe grow up through there in the future. If you don't mind, I do want to interject on one thing while we're talking about the easement. As we said, the easement's not in place at this point. What happened, and I kind of summarized it in my agenda review. This whole property was purchased by the mall during the expansion in the 90s, and a conservation easement was placed over it. All right, so the full property has a conservation easement over it. And in there are some restrictions with regarding any tree clearing and with regards to any utilities. So what's gonna happen here is, I think in two parts, is I'd be looking for the commission, if they do approve this, they would have to make a recommendation to the town council to modify the easement. So then this has to go back to town council. Town council will have to work with the attorneys to modify this easement, this conservation easement, to allow this 30-foot sanitary sewer easement in this conservation easement area. Okay? Oh, so I just want to make sure everyone was aware of that as we go forward with the discussion.
All right, well, I kind of see the, you know, it will shorten the period of construction. And it also, you know, along with the sight line looking down to the east from Woodruff Road, there's could be sightline issues of the parking lot there. I don't know if that's an entrance or an exit. I think it's two ways, yeah. So you know, I think it's good to have that sight line cleared there as well. And it is very kind of overgrown with invasives. I do have mixed feelings on it. I mean, it's gotten in there. There's you know, most of the trees, it seems to be, are more towards the interior of the property. Um, that recommendation of the trees is pretty the density there, I think, is going to be kind of tight, but you know, maybe we can move some of the trees around. But I don't know.
Gareth, I think just correct me if I'm wrong. I think it is a 1-for-1 count almost for trees to be cut, trees to be planted.
Yeah.
It's 1-for-1. Sagan was out surveying them and took a record of them, and we had them surveyed as well afterwards. There's slightly more trees being removed, but there are quite a numerous dead trees. So it's almost 1-to-1. And again, because of the density, it's hard to fit in replacement trees. There are some gaps, and we've positioned them best we can. If there's better positions open up during construction, I mean, by all means, they can be adjusted and moved. And we will be placed by hand because of the small caliber. So we're just trying to see how many we can actually fit in there. So we were able to fit 50.
Okay. All right. I guess we should start with just accepting the application. So Chair will entertain a motion to accept the application.
So moved by Eisner.
Dave will second.
Motion made and seconded. Motion has been made and seconded to accept the application. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstain. Application accepted. Oh, I haven't given the opportunity for questions, did I? No.
No, you didn't.
Okay. All right, Rich Berlandy.
You did.
Yeah. I know it.
He was.
You did.
I did ask you for a question.
You did get me, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One other thing I thought of while in the interim there was there are some rock outcrops on this parcel. Has you done any soil borings? Will there be any blasting required or rock removal?
No, we haven't done any testing. We don't believe we will need to do any blasting here. The span pole itself should be of similar depth, if not deeper. That's already existing there. This gives us confidence that shouldn't be too much trouble. But there is an outcrop you can see there on the left-hand side, just above the wetland limit text. But we're not expecting to hit any rock there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Dave Fox.
No questions at this time.
All right, Robert Eisner.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. I made the motion to accept because we were going to have to do that anyways, but I definitely wanted to ask some questions. I mean, I guess I fundamentally question why the project is necessary if the original plan was to have the sewer line in the road. This is a lot of disruption, and it's going to forever change the area. And this is compounded with the fact that it's already encumbered by a conservation easement. So I think that's, sort of an initial concern I have. And one question that I have is what's the timing of the project? How rapidly do you see this moving forward?
Sure. So I know, Gareth, we talked about this on our call. We would like to start construction this spring on the Wendy's. We obviously, should we get the wetlands permit and then modify the conservation easement, which is a town council TP&Z, get that all recorded. We still would need to finalize the actual construction of the sewer with the WPCA. So we would need to do all that before we could really start construction and be able to tie into the sewer. But our plan right now is to do that in the 2025 construction season. I think, Gareth, when we looked at the time frame for the different construction scenarios in South Road versus in the easement area, what was the difference between those time
So
frames?
around 6 weeks for construction along South Road. Moving it into the lot here reduces it between 2 and 3 weeks, with only a few days on Woodruff. If it's straightforward, they'll be done in 2 days, maybe 3, just to do the patch repairs, etc. So it's a lot less traffic impact. Woodruff would just be closed for that time of making the last connection, compared to all the roads, the entrance to the mall, etc., being one-way traffic with traffic control during the duration of estimate 5 to 6 weeks.
Great, thank you. I was focused a little more towards the sort of overall construction, and where I'm going is I do think this is one that a site walk would be good. I do want to take a look at the area that was questioned as a potential vernal pool, and our regulations allow for the hiring of an independent consultants to review on the town's behalf. I'd like to have consultants for the commission do an independent review of the area potentially as a vernal pool, and obviously the best timing for that is a few months out. And that's why my initial question was sort of project timing. So I think my initial question is whether this is even necessary to move it out of the road where it was originally proposed. If the application is going to move forward, then I would like to see consultants hired for the commission to do an independent review of the area potentially as a vernal pool. If it's deemed not a vernal pool, then I think I overall would be agreeable to the work outside of the roadway. So that's my perspective. And those are the end of my comments.
Thank you. Neil Kelsey.
One question. I know that it's 60 feet 9 inches from the point there. What are the rough distances left and right of that? You had the picture up.
Yeah, but I can't scale off the sheet, so give me a second.
Okay.
Or Gareth might be able to,
So
Bruce.
yeah, I want to make sure I get the measurement right here. So 60 feet to the closest point. The Yeah, so 60 feet from point to point there to our LOD.
Mhm.
You want the distance to the next bump out?
From there, yeah, where
This
the
here?
cursor is, yeah.
At like
Yep.
midpoint. Mhm.
Yeah. That's approximately 87. The next corner.
Okay. And then on the other
100.
side to the right of
Yeah.
the closest point.
Oh, that point there?
Here?
Yes.
Commissioner, here?
Let me just
Yeah.
zoom in.
Here? Okay.
122.
Okay.
A little bit more actually, but yeah.
Okay.
Roughly.
And then just a comment. I'm going to echo what Commissioner Eisner said about you know, moving this from the road. I mean, the road was a viable plan when this was approved 2.5 years ago now, I guess. And I'm struggling with why we would allow and change that, given the conservation easement and the zoning approval of this and the conditions they put on the approval, again, presumably back in 2022. I think the road still is a viable option. So I would need to be convinced that this was a better option overall before I'd be willing to send the town council a letter stating that we would approve that. So just my position at this point.
Thank you. Mark Simpson?
No questions at this time.
Okay, Jay Tulin?
No questions.
All right. I'm kind of along the same feeling as Robert Eisner is and Neil. Part of my question is, where do we get to 30 feet? I mean, I've seen, as a civil engineer, and I've seen a lot of work being done in much narrower areas. So, um, I don't know why they need the whole 30 feet. Maybe something a little more narrow could be looked at. I do think there are benefits here in regards to, um, just traveling public is less inconvenienced. And also, I think that the site distances for Woodruff Road and the exit um, out of the parking lot will be better. So there are two different things, and I do think I would like to see a site walk here. I know it's not the best time of the year for a site walk, but we still should be able to get somewhat of a feel. So I think I would like to do that. But I guess my question is to the applicant is what's the feasibility of having a smaller right of way, sewer right of way?
And I think, Gareth, we had originally started with a 25-foot easement, correct? And we got some feedback from staff to make it a little bit wider. So could you maybe talk through that, Gareth? Why we did that, and if it'd be feasible to go back to something a little bit smaller?
We could go back to something a little smaller. We did start with 25. It seemed reasonable. Just keeping roots away from the sewer itself was one of the main drivers for that. We also have, that's the big problem there. We want to give enough space around the spam pole itself, but not to say that we can't pull this in other areas and adjust our placement of it. We'd certainly be probably as wide or maybe slightly a few feet less in that area, and then try and taper away to the sides to reduce the impact. It's something we can certainly look at.
Okay. All right. So let's poll the commission and see who is interested in a site walk. I think one would be worthwhile here. we're gonna, go from moving out from the roadway into the wetland area, we should take a look. Rich Berlandi? This is the question is, do you think a site walk is necessary?
I think it would be beneficial. I see Bob has his hand up.
Dave Fox, well, I know Robert does. Dave Fox?
Yeah, I think a site walk would be good. And I also agree with Commissioner Eisner on an independent view of the vernal pool. And if that's the case, maybe it would be better to have a site walk closer to the time when the vernal pool might be there. If we're going to have to wait for the input from a professional looking at it.
Okay. I don't know how that works with the schedule of our commission, but we certainly can consider that. Robert Eisner?
Yeah, and the timing, the scheduling was why I put my hand up, that I think, normally we try to do our site walks pretty soon after accepting the application. I would favor sort of deferring the site walk. And again, if there's agreement by the applicant, under our regulations to retain a consultant, that would report to the commission, then I think we can sort of look at everything together. I think this would be a public hearing, under it's in the public interest clause, not because there's a significant direct impact to the wetlands. So if we sort of look at the time clock, we accepted it today. We've got 65 days to schedule a hearing, 35 days to close it. Those can be extended. I think Attorney Hope, maybe if you could, if this is agreeable for your team, work with the staff on what that schedule could look like so that we can as efficiently get the information the commission would like, but also try and keep you on a track that would hopefully work for your team as well. So I think, you know, if we schedule the hearing 65 days out, we'd start the hearing, in April. We would still have the 35 days and 35 days, so we get 2 more months to be able to do the um, independent review for the commission. So I think definitely a site walk, scheduling to be determined. If Attorney Hope and Bruce would help figure that out, and then we have another meeting in 2 weeks where we could revisit scheduling, if that makes sense.
Sure, and I think Sagan, typically first night, which is I know what you guys are looking for with the vernal pools, is it typically, I feel like it's typically in April? Is that typically when it is?
Yeah, early to mid-April, probably the soonest you'd want to get out there.
Okay. And how many times typically do you think this independent consultant would go out? A few times? Is that typically?
Yeah, I mean, they can go out as many as 2 or 3 times, but again, it's really dependent on whether the obligate species are there. So they would really be revisiting just to, literally try to catch some species moving around if there's no eggs or anything in the water. So
weather temperature will definitely play a big factor in that. So if we have a cold April, then this pushes into May. You know what I mean? So you really got to be careful on how we do this. So
the groundhog just said 6 more weeks of winter.
and it feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at the forecast.
Exactly. So
yes.
Right.
We'll have to, what I'm hearing, I think, from the commission is that the majority of you want this independent vernal pool review. Obviously, Sagan has put his into the record, but seems like you're looking for an additional one. I think that's what I'm hearing in order for this to move forward. So it seems like that needs to be the direction we would go in if we want to keep pursuing this application.
If you don't mind me jumping in at this point, because I got a lot of things bouncing around in my head right now with this. So I think timing could definitely play a crucial role, and I'll have to discuss this with Megan offline. In the meantime, just getting the proposals together will take some time, so I'll need to get a handful of proposals together for us to review with them, so we can choose one, because as the regs state, I think the applicant will be paying for this, so we need to work with them on that. And also, are we looking at just a wetland I mean, just the vernal pool review, or are we gonna throw any wetlands in there as well? Just because I know in the proposal, he's gonna ask me a million questions, so I wanna make sure I'm 100% with what the commission is looking for.
Yeah, Bruce, and I'll speak first, Mr. Chair, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I was thinking the vernal pool only. The work is
Okay.
all in the upland review, and from my perspective, it really comes down to if that's a functioning vernal pool, that compounded with an existing conservation easement would be very difficult to, for me, see where this is a viable proposal. If it's not a vernal pool, you still have, a 60-foot separating distance from where the sewer line is going through to an active wetland. I think that's a very different scenario. So Bruce, my perspective is just assessment of the potential vernal pool area.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Where did I leave off? Neil?
Well, what's the question? Is it just around the vernal pool?
No, well, if you'd like a site walk, first off,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I answered that already. Yes, I would like to see a site walk. And I agree, the focus would be on the vernal pool for, additional analysis.
and you already spoke to thinking an independent
Yes,
soil scientist would be appropriate. Okay.
right. Focused on the vernal pool.
Yep. Mark Simpson.
I'm all for the site visit.
Okay. Jay Tulin.
I definitely would like to have a site walk. I'm in agreement.
Okay. All right. All right. So we have unanimous polling that site walk is required. We'll have to work with Bruce and let Bruce talk to the applicant about our timing and within our 65 days. I have mixed feelings on this because I mean the overwhelming majority of water in this is just roadway runoff from I-84. So, as in regards to the quality of the wetland, and being adjacent to the highway, I don't think it's an ideal wetland environment, but I am interested in if there is a vernal pool, and I am interested in a site walk. So we'll go ahead and Bruce, you can schedule that site walk for us after some discussion about.
Yeah, what I'm thinking.
Do we need a vote on hiring a soil scientist to represent the town?
Yes, that's where I was going. Where next? I think we don't have to vote on what I'd like to have is a vote on us to get a third party. So there's a lot of work I need to do on my side. Once we get the proposals together, we'll work with the consultant, and then at that point we can have a vote on hiring the consultant. Okay, but I just want to get a vote that we agree that there is a third party required, and that's the route that we want to go.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion that to instruct Bruce to make arrangements and or figure out what we need to do to get a third party to review the site.
So moved by Eisner.
And a
I will
second, please.
second.
All right, motion been made and seconded to investigate getting a third party to investigate the site. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, abstain, motion passes. Okay, so I think we'll wait on significance until the site walk.
Mhm.
And I think that's it for now then, right?
Yeah, the site walk, I think that's something we could discuss as well. Like I said, with all the snow coming, the vernal pool can't be looked at by this wetland scientist until April anyway. So I think we could definitely push this site walk off if you want further on. And like I said, next meeting, just as Commissioner Eisner said, we should hopefully have a better understanding of timing. I'll speak with the client and we'll figure out a path going forward at this point. So, but I also want to just touch base on a little thing that you had mentioned with regarding the quality of it. Yes, it does take some water from 84, but I know this wetland very well from walking this many years ago with this subdivision to the north. So Wood Pond being right here,
Oh, okay.
Wood Pond here, Timberbrook, there's a very large wetland here. All right, this wetland drains underneath 84 into this swale, comes around, goes back under Woodruff, then comes back under through here. So there is a very large drainage
Oh,
area.
so it's fed by a large wetland.
Exactly. So really
Okay.
84 was built through the wetland and cut the wetland off. So that's what's happening now. You've got a large amount of water that goes through here. So it is very large.
Okay. I
So-
stand corrected.
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure that was clear to everybody because like I said, I know it well
I
from
just- yeah.
walking it over the years. So
I've seen lots of, the outlets from highway runoffs, and it's, you see oil slicks and you see garbage and all sorts of stuff that comes out of, everything
it's
goes
there.
into catch basins on the highway. So
it's there,
not
it's adding
really
to it,
very
but
pretty.
so okay.
You know, one other quick question. So the original, I heard them discuss that the original proposal was 25 feet. And then they said staff recommended maybe you needed more room. Is that true, or how did that work out?
I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember.
Okay.
If we did, I don't, and again, I'll take Megan on that. We talked so many times with so many different
Yeah.
people. I don't remember if that was part of it, but but as Garrett said, I think the problem is that span pole. You've got that span pole right there, so you can't, you could do a funky easement going 20 or 25 and then like widening it back out, but that span pole is such a tight area that you can't put that sewer line up along side of it. So,
Right. Okay.
But I think
All
we
right. So then
should
we'll
look at that. If
okay.
I think the first step is this analysis, this additional analysis you want, and then if that, is not a vernal pool, then I think it makes sense to look at some of these other options.
Okay. So then will they need to be present for the next meeting, or?
Yes, yeah, I think we will. I'll talk to Megan
Mhm.
Okay.
probably Friday. Unfortunately, I got a long day tomorrow with a lot of meetings.
That's
So
okay.
yeah, so we could chat on Friday if you're around.
Yep, I'm around.
All right, and then we'll figure out a schedule going forward. And
All
then
right, yeah.
then we could report back and then her and I will discuss this and either I'll just report back to you guys or what. We'll figure out how we're gonna do this. All right.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right. Very
guys.
good. Thank you very much.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you.
you.
All right. So planners report.
I do have one item under the planners report that came up. All right. Happens to do with Westwood School. Give you a little breakdown here. So Westwood School had approached us with the changing, with the whole redistricting and they're gonna be going using, it's not just gonna be an upper elementary anymore. There's gonna be some lower grades as well. They're looking to put where am I here? Here we go. They're looking to put a playscape in there, all right? And they're looking to put it, let me zoom out, but they're looking to put it in this little bay in here. Okay. So here's the original construction plans. All right. This is the bay we're taught. Judson Lane is down here.
Yeah.
The rear of the property is here. So they're looking to do some work in this bay here. There's a sidewalk and there are wetlands right up alongside of the existing cleared area. All right. So what they're looking to do. This is it here, right?
So this is a small playscape for preschool?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So what you have here is this is the back sidewalk and this is the area between the two buildings. So there's a sidewalk and lawn on both sides. Okay. Same thing, just a different level. The side, this
Yeah.
playscape area will be going in here. It's an overview. So this is kind of a little schematic of what it would look like. So there would be a mulch in here. There's a fence across here. So they would be more or less be taking that lawn and bituminous sidewalk and turning it into a mulch area at this point with some playscape features here. We have discussed this with the fire marshal. So and it is, I think, classified as an exit, so we're coordinating with them on what kind of gate would have to be over here. But for all intents and purposes, those should be easily be able to address. It's just this area being converted to a playscape. It is within the 150-foot upland review area. However, with it being lawn and a sidewalk already, I thought I would run it by the commission to see what they thought, if they feel this is something they would like to see an application, or if this is just something that we can handle on a staff level.
Well, I mean, it's got building on three sides and
Mhm.
the fence, and I mean, you're getting rid of some sidewalk. And that the mulch is, I mean, that's fully drainable on its own, right? There's,
Yeah, I have no details
You
on
don't-
the mulch
okay.
at this point,
I'm just,
what they're using, if they're gonna use what kind of system. I guess what I could do is I can, if you want to approach it that way, we can look at two ways. Let staff handle it. If at some point there's some drainage, under drains involved, we could definitely I could then bring it back to the commission as we go further along. But they're
yeah,
looking.
I think that would be appropriate. I mean, I don't anticipate, looking at that, I don't see any need for drain. I imagine any of the roof drains wouldn't exit on the side of the building. They'd be going off the back of the building somewhere.
Yeah, there's some, I'd have to look at the collector pipes. I don't think there's anything here.
Yeah, I don't
runs
think there
through a
would be.
collector pipe system. All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. I certainly think it's something the town staff can handle, but we'll poll the commission. Richie, you think this is something that the town staff can handle?
Yeah, I guess so. It's already in a developed area in between the building.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dave Fox,
Yeah, I'm confident they could.
Robert Eisner.
Yeah, agree. I mean, the magnitude of the impact when the school was built there was substantial. So this one, I think, is all Bruce, and I appreciate the fact that he brought it to us.
Very good. Neil Kelsey.
I agree. And Bruce, we're here if anything comes up and you need our input.
Okay, thank you.
Mark Simpson.
Yeah, I can agree the town can do the work. When this school was put in, there was limited athletic fields and areas of activity outside. So this might be a positive thing if they can do it.
Yeah. Jay Tulin.
I didn't live in town I've only been in town for 7 years, but I'll go along and agree with everyone else.
Okay. All right, Bruce. The polling says it. This is, you can handle it.
Power, the power. Wow, I feel it. Take it and run. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion. Oh, you said that this is the only thing you had, right?
Yep.
Okay, so entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 22nd Inland Wetland Commission meeting.
So move, Mark.
And a second, please.
I'll second. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yep. I yield to you, Jay.
All right, motion made and second to approve the minutes of January 22nd. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And I would just like to mention that the agreement that was sent out, the draft proposal, I read through it and I read through the changes and it looked fine. I don't think we need to, since we've already accepted it, I don't think we need to make a motion unless somebody has a question on it or Anything else? Let me first ask, Bruce, did anybody contact you thinking that something needed to be changed?
No, I don't think so. There was one
Okay.
before, yeah, there was one before the meeting. I made that change. But I
Right.
haven't heard anything after.
Okay. All right, then I don't see any reason for action on that. Just thank you for the work on that proposal.
No problem. Thank you.
Hey,
All
Nat,
right, we will adjourn the meeting at 8:45 and jump into Conservation Commission.
hey, Nat, just real quick, I didn't mean to cut off Commissioner Eisner. I'm appreciating the fact that I'm able to participate in the meeting.
Okay, that was a very important second you had there. All right, call the meeting to order, 7:45, 7:46. Any new business?
It's 8:46.
I'm sorry, 8:46. Getting a little tired. Bruce, is there any new business?
No,
A planner's report?
nothing on our planners report either.
Okay. So the chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 22nd, Conservation Commission. Jay,
What?
will you,
Oh,
will
He's
you
giving
make
you-
a motion to approve the minutes?
well, I actually left the
Oh.
meeting, I believe, before the Conservation Commission started, so I don't think
All
I
right,
can do anything with
never
that.
mind. I didn't mean to put you on the spot,
But
sorry.
thank you for asking, Ned.
So moved by Eisner.
Second,
All right. And a second, please.
second by Mark.
All right, motion been made and second to approve the minutes of January 22nd. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion passes.
Do I go down as an abstain because I wasn't there?
Go ahead. You can
No.
abstain.
Yeah, no, you know
Boy,
what?
oh boy.
Yeah, you know what? Sandy's right. Only the active members, or sorry, only the
Oh, okay,
members are members of the Conservation Commission.
okay.
Sorry about that, Jay.
No, hey, it's all good with me.
All right, so that motion passes. And is there anything else people want to discuss? All right, seeing none, we'll close the meeting at 8:47.